All right. Hello. Hi. This is Stephanie Lindloff from Our Natural Wisdom. So glad to be here with you again this week for another episode. I believe it's episode 66 of Reclaim Your Peace with Mother Earth. Welcome. Glad to see you here today, whether you're joining live or enjoying the replay. So, I am an eco-intuitive coach and teacher, and I help busy, anxious women to reclaim your peace through simple moments with Mother Earth. That's what this weekly offering is all about. It's about helping you experience how easy it can be to step into that place of peaceful presence and how in that place you can easily access your wild wisdom, your intuition. I like to call it your eco intuition because it is so connected with your relationship with the earth, with nature. I know that you have a deep love for nature. That's why you're here. And you know that nature brings you beautiful healing. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that and allow you some time. Thanks for taking the time for yourself to experience how powerful these simple moments can be. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Um, I wanted to share a recent experience. It actually just happened yesterday that was just a really beautiful story to share, and it really leads to some great new wisdom and a very simple mindfulness practice that will help you immediately. So, I was on a walk in a natural area near our home, and there's a section where there's like an old pine plantation. It's all a forest preserve area, so that's no longer being logged or actively managed for logging. Um, but it's this really neat little section of the forest preserve that is just pine plantation, a little forest. Excuse me. And I was walking through there and taking some time to just stand in this one area that really called to me, this circle of shrubs. And I just stood in the middle of it and brought my hands to my heart and was breathing there and just listening to the sound of the wind going through the pine trees. Don't you just love that sound? And feeling how soft the ground was beneath my feet because of all of the built up pine needles over the years. And I opened my eyes and I was just looking up in the trees. And right at that moment, a large bird swooped down and shifted from one tree to the next. And I immediately recognized that it was a great horned owl, which can be pretty tough to spot during the day because they're so quiet. Boy, are they quiet. They are stealthy. They are some, top predators in the forest ecosystem. And they're also just so amazing and beautiful. So I walked a little further because I wanted to get a better look at this owl, and I found it. Surprisingly, it was pretty well hidden, but I found it up in the tree, and I was just watching it, and I could see it turning its head, and I could see those two big tufts sticking up, and just totally silent and watching everything. And I could hear that there were a couple of more hikers approaching. And I turned and I looked, and they were two women, a little older than me, probably in their 60s, maybe 70s. And they were trying to be quiet because they could see that I was watching a bird or something up in the trees. And they said, "Are you watching something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, an owl." And they just instantly lit up. They were thrilled. They had made a connection with this owl over several years, and they had not seen the owl for a few months. So they were starting to get worried about it. And this is a couple of friends that walks through this forest preserve on a regular basis together. And they had named the owl Solomon because they felt he was so stoic. And so we spent some time watching Solomon together, and then he flew off to another part, and we walked over there to see whether we could get a look at him. And we kind of lost track of him, but I sparked a conversation with the women about what this owl has meant for them in terms of their experience of walking. And they said that for a long time, every single day that they would go for their walk, they would see this owl. And so they started talking to him and just, connecting with him. And they really developed this relationship with this owl, and which is so beautiful, right? And then they shared that a lot of the time that they spent walking was during the lockdown, during COVID, during the pandemic, and that it was especially difficult for them because one of them was recuperating from chemotherapy at the time. And the other woman, her husband had been experiencing a lot of health problems during COVID as well. And they said that having that connection, that it was like a heart connection that they had developed with this owl, that trust, that knowing that if they went out and went into this section of the forest on their regular walk, that chances were very high that they would have the opportunity to interact with this beautiful creature that they had developed a real affinity to. And I just thought it was so beautiful, and their stories got me all kind of choked up. And I ended up taking a little video of them which I will share at some point on Instagram. And I really wanted to share this story because it's a reminder of how our connections with nature, with Mother Earth, whether it's plants and flowers or trees or great horned owls, it's there is a deep spiritual connection there. It is deeply healing to us on every level in our lives, in what we are experiencing in this wild and crazy existence of being human. And this is beyond just a feel good kind of a thing. It brings us back to this deep knowing that we have, that we can be we can connect with our inner wisdom. We can connect with that peace, that peaceful, wild wisdom that we hold within ourselves. And that there is so much there. There is an assurance, there is a tenderness, there is self compassion and self love. There is a knowing that we have the answers to our greatest challenges within us. And it's that connection with nature that allows us to call on that and to bring that forward. So it really is a story of healing our relationship with nature. I also feel that so much of the power behind this connection that these women have with Solomon the owl is that they have developed a very powerful, regular practice, a simple practice of connection. And that connection has allowed them to experience so much because it brings up the whole element of hope and positivity and something to look forward to. And all of those things are deeply important to us in our lives. So I really wanted to share that. And I also wanted to be clear that you don't have to go out on a nature walk in a forest preserve to experience this. It is something that you can experience from anywhere, and most easily and most accessibly right within your yard, right within the land that you inhabit. This is where you have the most potential power that is available to you for healing, for connection, for developing your intuition and your connection with your wild wisdom, with your intuitive wisdom, which is the language of your soul. It is the language of your inseparable connection with the divine, however you define that. So when we think about connecting with nature, I always like to remind everybody, that it doesn't mean going out on a wilderness journey. It means being aware and having the intention, and you can do it from anywhere. And that is why I created my online course, The Eco Intuitive Garden. It is a beautiful infusion. It's really a merging of practical gardening guidance with intuitive practices that allow you to, it's a simple path to reclaim your peace, awaken your wild wisdom, and heal the earth. All three of those things are so seamlessly possible through this course, the Eco Intuitive Garden. Enrollment is open now, and the course begins on Monday, April 8th. Monday, April 8th is our first module. The course runs through May 1st, so it's just about 3.5 weeks long. And like I said, enrollment is open right now. You can learn all about it by clicking the link down below that I will provide in the description. You can also go to my website at ournaturalwisdom.com, and then you can check out Work With Me and go down to the Eco Intuitive Garden for all of the information that you need about my upcoming online course. It would be amazing to have you there with us for that journey. I wanted to also go back to talking about birds because, birds and gardening are so connected, of course. When you develop an eco-intuitive garden and you are welcoming of nature into your garden space, it becomes magnetic. It's really a draw for so many creatures, including birds. And I feel especially called to share a little bit about our our sacred relationship with birds, because birds are powerful messengers in nature, in our lives. And when you think about it, birds tend to be one of the first ways that we get interested in nature because they're so abundant and they're visible, right? They're highly visible throughout the year. And it's an easy way to kind of step into a regular practice of spending time in nature and allowing yourself to receive the wisdom that can be reawakened within you through that process. Now, the thing about birds that I think is so fascinating and deserves to be said is that we have worked in partnership with birds throughout history. Humans and birds have worked together because, way back when, our ancestors were very much attuned to the language of birds. Why? Because what birds were saying in a forest, in a prairie, in a grassland setting, what the birds were saying could alert our ancestors, maybe your past selves, to something really important that you need to know. Whether there is a predator approaching or another bird that is, causing some tension among the collection of birds. There's so many ways that birds are speaking to us. So they could also be it's certainly possible that birds would disrupt a hunt that we were on or our ancestors were on, right? Because they will call out and let everybody around know what's going on. So birds are messengers. They're beautiful messengers, not only in nature, but they can also help us come back to our quiet mind, to the importance of having a quiet, receptive mind, to step into that place of awareness and expansiveness, most importantly, that expansive awareness that nature allows us to tap into, and that really is a beautiful stepping stone to hearing your wild wisdom within you, because they they allow us to hear, to experience the present moment with an open and quiet mind. An open and quiet mind. And this brings us a sense of inner calm that really allows us to access our inner wisdom so much more easily and naturally, because it is natural. It is meant to be a natural occurrence in our lives to connect with our wildest wisdom that we hold within ourselves. So the birds also, and this sense of, the quiet mind, the open mind, the place of spaciousness, that awareness allows us to tune into subtle shifts in energy around us, within us. And this allows us greater access to our self awareness and self discovery, which ultimately leads to greater peace. Because the more that we are able to know about ourselves and the more compassion we are able to send ourselves, the more willing we are to, be open to what we are experiencing in our inner world. That brings us the ability to have greater peace and greater intuition, greater insight, greater understanding of ourselves. So I welcome you. I invite you in the coming week until our next meeting next Tuesday at 2 on YouTube Live. I welcome and invite you to take the time to listen to the birds. Well, I just realized that my connection to YouTube was cut off. So here I am again the day after, just wanting to share with you the simple mindfulness practice. So next time you have the opportunity, hopefully today, spend some time outside and just listen to the birds. Listen to the birds, really allow yourself to step into a place of open heartedness and spaciousness, and allow the sound of the birds, their vibration to come to you. Allow that vibration to come into your heart and speak to you. And ask yourself, what is the message that this beautiful bird has for me right now? What is the message that this beautiful bird has for me right now? And allow that to come into your heart. Allow yourself to feel that connection to your wild wisdom, to your sacred connection with the earth. And just experience that on a daily basis if you possibly can. It really is a simple practice. There's nothing, this isn't rocket science, right? This is a simple, peaceful mindfulness practice that allows you to access your intuition, your eco intuition, your wild wisdom. And if you are interested in bringing a beautiful eco intuitive garden into your life, right outside your doors, then I welcome you to check out my online course, The Eco Intuitive Garden. I am providing the link down below so that you can learn more and you can register today. Enrollment is now open for April. We begin on April 8th, and you can also learn all about it through my website at ournaturalwisdom.com, and then click on Work with Me, and you'll see the link for the Eco Intuitive Garden, an online course. So good to be with you today again. Thanks for your understanding of the shift midway through today. I look forward to connecting with you again next Tuesday at 2 on YouTube Live for Reclaim Your Peace with Mother Earth. Thanks, and have a beautiful day.